Christmas, everyone. Probably not, definitely won't be Christmas when you're watching this, but it is Christmas right now. And I'm bored sitting around the house, tired of being inside, so I'm going to get my Indian out and go for a ride. It's 19 degrees out right now, so I'm not going on a real long ride, but a ride probably just around the block out here in the country, maybe into town, and tell you guys a little bit about myself and the bikes I own and the other projects I have that you'll be seeing on the channel here. So let's get suited up. Actually, this ain't that bad. I expected it to be a lot worse. I mean, I'm only going 45 right now, but I expected it to be way colder. If you guys are wondering what gear I'm wearing currently, this is a Fox Creek Classic motorcycle jacket. I just have a nice heavy hoodie I bought from a Indian dealership underneath that, and then a cut-off t-shirt. And then the gloves are, I believe these are Alpine Stars. The only reason I'm wearing these is they're touchscreen compatible, so I can change my music and stuff. I do have a pair of Fox Creek gloves, but they aren't quite as insulated as these, and they don't work with touchscreens. So, but yeah, I guess I'll tell you about myself. My name's Pharryn. I do all the video editing, photo editing, basically all the nerdy stuff for the channel. Run our website, powerintheprairielands.com, and yeah, basically anything that has to do with electronics, I do. Also, anything to do with working on stuff, I do, or I'm telling Jib or Eric how to do, because apparently I'm IT, I'm the mechanic, I'm pretty much everything over here. Not really good at any of it. I don't know why they trust me to do all this stuff, but I haven't really been riding motorcycles all that long. I got my first motorcycle in March of 2021. I had mini bikes and stuff growing up, and I had a dirt bike for about 23 hours before I blew it up, an old Husqvarna CR250 two-stroke. Yeah, but my first bike that I bought, like street bike, was a Royal Enfield Continental GT 650. Really fun little bike, not a whole lot of power, but I'm the kind of guy, I didn't need a whole lot of power to learn how to ride. I needed something to kind of limit me. It's probably the best bet, so I went with that just to learn on, and rode the wheels off that thing. I mean, actually, that year, like 2-3 months after I bought that bike, I got T-boned by a John Deere Gator out in the country. A guy was checking his mail and wasn't paying attention and turned in front of me. I swerved up into his driveway to avoid hitting him, and he hit me right in the driver's side door and totaled my car. So while I was looking for something else to buy to drive, that Royal Enfield was my only transportation that whole summer. Now, like, it's not like I'm going to work every day because I'm an over-the-road truck driver. I go to work on Sundays and I come back on Friday. But I still go around a lot while I am home, so I put quite a few miles on that bike. It was a lot of fun to ride. Had a blast on that thing everywhere I went. But yeah, this past March 2022, Jib was going to trade this bike in, and I'd been messing with him since I met him and started riding with him about letting me ride this thing. And we were on the phone. We were all at work driving trucks, and he was telling me about how he was going to go trade his bike in. And I was like, well, since it's not really your bike anymore, why don't you let me ride it? So you can just meet me at work and follow me down to Mattoon, then we can switch back and you can ride the bike into the dealership and I'll give you a ride home. Well, that joke cost me about $20,000 because as soon as I took off on this bike, I knew I was buying it. I walked right in there behind him and told Jill, the woman that owns the dealership, to get a price on this bike and call me. Don't put it on your website, don't do nothing with it. Call me, I'm buying it. So about 2 weeks later, because it needed tires and a few other things, because Jib just rode the hell out of this bike, I went and picked it up, and I've put about 10,000 miles on it this year. It's been a great bike for me. Took me down to Florida, all the way around Florida, up to Wisconsin. We rode to Kentucky. We've done a lot of stuff this year and had a lot of fun. And yeah, so that's this bike. After I bought this, I was on Facebook Marketplace, because what else do you do when you're bored and have money in your bank account? And I found a 1969 Triumph chopper for sale. And I messaged the dude. I wish we would have got this on video, but I messaged the guy asking him what all it needed and everything, and he said it was a project, but it rode fine, just wouldn't ride it too far. So I asked him if it would make it about 120 miles home, and he told me it was not a good idea. I shouldn't do it, especially since I'd never ridden an old British bike, because your shifter and brake are switched on the old British bikes. You shift with your right foot and you brake with your left. And that bike doesn't have front brakes and everything. He basically did everything he could to talk me out of it. And I went and picked it up. Had Eric, one of the other guys on the channel, drive me. We went over there, picked it up, and I rode it home that day. We made it about 120 miles. We made it right around 50, and my brakes just went away. I had no more rear brake, and the bike doesn't have a front brake at all. It's not on the bike. So I called Eric on my Cena and told him, hey, make sure I'm good to run every stop sign, stoplight, everything, because I do not have brakes. So we're on the phone. He's kind of guiding me through everything, telling me when to go and when to try and downshift and slow down a little bit. And then we got about 20 miles from home, going through another town, and I lost my clutch. The clutch lever just wouldn't do anything. I could pull it in, and there was still spring pressure and everything, but it just wasn't releasing. And what happened is the plates all welded together. If I was smarter, we probably would have went and got my dad's pickup truck or a trailer or something and hauled it home. but I'm not, so we just rode home through every town, because for some reason that made sense to me, because we'd be going slower. And made it all the way home, didn't have any major issues. Did run into the power washer sitting in the driveway at the house, because the kill switch you actually have to reach through the chain to get to, and I didn't really want to do that while the bike was running. So got that all fixed up, and the videos of me fixing that are on the channel, so you guys can go back and watch those if you want to. We'll put a little fucking box thing, or I will put a little box thing somewhere. But yeah, then about 2 months ago I got a call. I was working on building a driveway for my property from one of my dad's friends, and he was asking me if I wanted to buy a bike that was owned by a really close friend of all of ours who passed away in a motorcycle accident. And I spent a lot of time on the back of this bike when I was a kid. I went everywhere with him, and if I couldn't ride on my dad's bike for some reason, whether it was his wife was with him, or if he just didn't want someone on the back, or if I just didn't want to ride with Dad, I was on the back of Mike's Softail. So, great friend of mine, my dad's, Steve Carter, bought that bike when Mike died from his son, and he's taken pretty good care of it. It's been repainted and everything. He owned a distillery for a little while, and he gave me the opportunity to buy the bike, so I own it now. There's some little things I need to fix on it, and there's some stuff going on with the motor that I don't really know. It's a 1993 Heritage Softail Nostalgic. Pretty rare bike. There's only 2,700 of them made, and I was going through cleaning up the chrome and some other stuff, and there's a stamping on the cylinder head by the spark plug holes that says Machado Racing, and we all know for a fact Mike never had anything performance done to that bike, and it sounds like it's got a pretty healthy cam in it. It has a Dyna S ignition box thing on it, and then there's that stamping on the heads. The only thing I can find about Machado Racing is there's a dude named Charlie Machado that lived out in Texas, and he raced Top Fuel motorcycles, Top Fuel Harleys, and owned a performance shop. So I don't know if this is a bike he worked on or what. Been trying to figure that out, track down any information I can, but there isn't a whole lot of information there to track down, is what I'm running into. There's not really anything about Charlie Machado other than one YouTube video I found and a couple forum threads that talk about him. From what I've seen, seems like an awesome guy, but I can't figure anything out, and those videos they are getting pretty old now, so I don't know if the old man's still around or what's going on. I've looked, I can't find anything about the shop, so I don't know. That is all of my motorcycles. So I've got the 2018 Indian Springfield Dark Horse, great bike, love this bike. I've got my 1969 Triumph Trophy, custom chopper. That is a really terrible bike. I love it. It's awesome. It's a death trap. It tries to kill me every time I ride it. And then there's the 93 Heritage Softail Nostalgic. That's a really sentimental bike to me. I haven't gotten to ride it much yet because I didn't have a title or anything to it for a while. I just got the title last weekend actually, so hopefully plates on it and be able to ride it for too long. And yeah, other than that, I'm into cars and mud trucks and stuff too. Me and my dad own a somewhere in the 80s, 70s. It's a square body Chevy mud truck, full custom cradle built, real heavy duty. Looks like it's all 1/4-inch wall tubing, all floor length, big shocks on it. It's 2.5 ton Rockwell axles, sitting on tractor tires. You guys will see it in the end of this video if you haven't seen it in any of the other ones. I've got quite a bit of work to do to that because my dad drove it into a tree one night. Then Dad's got a CJ5 Jeep that we're doing some work on, putting a 12 volt and a Dana 44 under it, 4-link, building like a little mini cradle and some other stuff. It's got a pretty healthy 304 AMC engine in it. And then I have a Jeep CJ7 that need to get to work on. Right now it's sitting on a 12 volt and a Dana 44, but I'm going to be swapping those out for probably 2.5 tons, build a cradle, and basically just make that thing as big as I can while keeping it street legal is my plan. And then probably going to try to put a big block in it. We've got a couple of big blocks sitting around. Right now it's just a small block Chevy, a SM465 4-speed manual, and NP205 transfer case. So it's basically the entire drivetrain out of like square body K10. Yeah, and then I have a 2007 Chevy Trailblazer SS. Probably throw a video clip of it from when it was running for a little bit up here. But that thing has a 408 stroker LS based off a LS2 block that I built. Big nasty cam in it there in that video. That was a sloppy stage 3 cam. It's getting a bigger one. I don't remember what it is, but it's bigger, more duration, more overlap, more lift, more everything. Basically the reason it's broke down right now is the I'm pretty sure there will be a video of me tearing it down when I get to it, but I think one of the lifters turned sideways in the lifter tray and just completely ate the camshaft, because when I pulled the valve cover, 3 of my rocker arms on my passenger side head had like 1/4 to a 1/2 inch of play. So it's pretty screwed up. Man, if it wasn't for the wind right now I've got a crosswind, but other than that I am perfectly fine. No issues at all. Just my legs are cold, and really just my right leg, because that's where the wind's hitting me. Speaking of that, I could actually turn on the heated seat on this Saddleman, warm the butt up a little bit, even though it's not bad. Back the same route I rode in. So I don't know about riding the country roads right now, and I don't want to fuck around and find out. Yeah, I don't think I talked about it a whole lot, but I did say I'm a truck driver. I'm not going to talk about the company I drive for or anything. I don't know how they would feel about me talking about them in a YouTube video, so I'm just not going to go there. But yeah, I drive over the road. I run like the southeast mostly. Every now and then it changes up and I have to go somewhere else, but typically it's southeast US. Yeah, been doing that for 3 years now, maybe 4, I don't know. Yeah, before that I transported motorhomes for a year. And then before that I had a bunch of random just bullshit jobs, just doing whatever I could to make money to buy beer and car parts. See if I can get a little bit of heat off the motor for my hand. And I don't like this wind, so well, should I try the county roads or should I go the long way and stick to the main roads? I'll get up to the one I normally turn off on and see what it looks like, because it's usually about the worst. The county roads around here, Central Illinois, I don't know if I said that, but it's in our bio and everything, where we're from, the area at least. Not the greatest, just in general. In the summer they suck, so in the winter they're real bad, and they don't really plow them that well. They're all crowned real steep, so the middle of the road is a lot higher than the edges of the road, so they drain well. You don't end up with standing water on most of them, but they don't work too hard to plow them and get them cleared off in the winter. Which we didn't get that much snow, but it drifted pretty bad. We had really high winds in this storm, or really high winds for this area. Because if you're out west, this wind was nothing. It was like a slight summer breeze to you, but for here it was pretty strong. Coming up, let's see what it looks like. I don't have anyone behind me. Take time a little bit, make a decision. This would get a little bit of wind off my legs if I did this. Oh hell, that looks fine. Let's go. Watch, I'm going to get on the other side of these tracks and it's going to be a sheet of ice. Yep, now the cold's really setting in. My right hand is killing me. Me and Jib have both been looking into getting some heated gear, because neither one of us like putting our bikes away. We don't like riding in the salt and stuff around here, but when you want to ride your bike, you want to ride your bike. That's about, into that. So yeah, we've been looking into heated gear as far as like gloves, tops, pants. If anyone has any suggestions on that, leave a comment down below. Tell us what you wear, what you use, how you like it.
Yeah.
Diana! Let's go, Diana!
Well, Dad took the mud truck out, playing around on the street, and now that's what we got. He clipped a tree, completely snapped that knuckle.
Look at that. Oh, yeah, that's gonna be...
And then hit another tree head on.
No, not head on. It's to the left of the Chevy match.
Oh well.
Pretty close though.
Damn.